Hi everyone, Namaskar. Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So today we have all gathered here to understand mind, understand how it functions, and understand the secret. The moment we understand the mechanism, we understand the hidden processes, and we are able to master the mind, we'll realize that life will get easier for us. Problems will get reduced, and we will be kind of a master of our own destiny. So I am really thankful to all of you, and I also apologize. Today we have started a little late, but from the next session, because this program is of 8 sessions, and from the next session, we'll be starting sharp at 7:30. Generally, the protocol is that from 7:30 to 7:40, we'll be observing a silence. The noble silence, the objective of observing noble silence is that generally when people are busy in their lives and they have so many thoughts in mind, they are not in the state of receptivity. So the first 10 minutes will be an absolute silence where we are just calming our mind, and we are opening ourselves to receive. And then we'll start the session. We'll be sharing certain videos like we'll do today. And before we'll end, we'll be doing a little bit of a meditation. So that would be the protocol every session, all the 8 sessions. Okay. I'll share a presentation with you. If you wish to note any points, you can do that. And I'll be also sharing a video with all of you. Okay. So we have already had an introduction of Atmantan, and the objective of this mind training, specifically this mind training, is to understand how mind functions. And the moment we start understanding everything related to the mind, we'll be able to handle our life in a much better manner, in a much smarter manner, I would say. Our thoughts, our emotions will not bother us. Rather, we'll be using them in a better manner. Another thing that we will be going ahead during the program is a self-analysis. We'll be trying to understand ourselves well and preparing ourselves to connect with the bigger system. So that would be a basic objective. I tell you why we are doing the mind training and how my journey started. Somebody needs to mute the speaker. Please check. Jyoti ji, please mute it. And Design Gurukul, there's one more. Please kindly mute yourself. Okay. So right now we are in the conscious state of mind. Conscious state of mind means the waking state, right? I'm awake. I'm aware of myself that I am a boy. I am staying in this city. This is 2020. So I'm aware. When you are aware of your body consciousness, when you are aware of the world outside, when you are aware of the time, we are in the waking state. Waking state means my eyes are open and I'm in a waking state. There is another state, which is a dream state. When you go to sleep, you see certain things happening, almost live. You're emotionally involved in it. It's your own creation because it's only you who's seeing it. But there is another state of mind other than the waking state and the dream state, and that is called a deep sleep state. Now, what happens in the deep sleep state is for 8 hours, for example, you sleep for 8 hours, the dream time is very less. 95% or more than that, the time during the night is the deep sleep state. Just imagine that time you do not have the body consciousness. You are in such a state of existence that you are not aware of the gender, you're not aware of the time, you're not aware of the body, the city, the country. Now let us understand why the key points which had come to my mind, and I want to even share with you, discuss with you, ask you is, you go to sleep, you're in a happy mood, everything is good, everything is fine in life, you go to sleep. And in the night, you see yourself running in a jungle and a fierce animal, maybe a python, is after you. You're running, you're sweating. The python is after you. You climb a tree, you get onto it, and then you find the python is after you, and then you are shouting, peak of the voice. Nothing, nobody has come for the rescue. Suddenly, your spouse or your parent, somebody wakes you up and you get up and say, oh God, thank you so much. Thank you. Your timing has been so good. That snake was about to bite me. And then you sit and think, who's that unknown creation in me whom I don't know? There is something unknown in me that is creating the dreams. Because deliberately you did not plan for this scene, this animal, the whole scenario. See, you are the hero, you are the director, you are the producer, you are the spectator, the audience, and then you are scaring your own self. So you start thinking, there is certainly something mystic in me. There is certainly something unknown in me that I don't know. And irrespective of our knowledge, something is there which is creating something. Because you say, I say, see, it is your dream. Certainly you are the creator. You say, no, I have no idea. I didn't make this dream. I didn't plan this dream. I don't even know. So I'll ask a question. It has, something is happening in you. How come you don't have an idea? So this gives you a reason to think there is something mystic that you don't know. When you think of dream and you are not the creator, then who's the creator? Who's the unknown? Who's the mystic? Who's the master? Who's behind? Who's scripting, editing, planning characters, planning the whole scene, giving you a message? Just imagine something unknown, mystical, powerful is there. To wise people, they start thinking, they start decoding, they start understanding. They want to know what is mine. They want to know what is happening in me. They want to know the truth of their existence. I said, right now, I am in the waking state. Right now, all of you are in waking state. I would really appreciate all those who can switch off their videos. It will be good. If there is any issue, it is okay. There is no compulsion, but if I see a couple of people, it'll be nice. It'll feel like I'm in a class and I can see faces and interact. So those who are comfortable and can do it, may do it. Those who cannot, it's absolutely okay. So it's a humble request so that I get more energy and I'll feel more lively. Anyhow, another thing that comes to the mind is right now I am in a waking state. All of you are in a waking state. You're listening to me very carefully. And in this state, I have body consciousness. I have time consciousness. I have the world consciousness. But when I go to sleep, I am in a deep sleep state. You understand what's a deep sleep state? Deep sleep state is a state of existence where you are merely existing as consciousness, because for hours you don't have an idea that you exist. There is bodilessness. Just imagine, you don't even know the gender, you don't know you exist. There is timelessness, because the time flies like anything. There is bodilessness, there is timelessness, there is worldlessness. How can that coexist? Now, this again gives me a reason to understand there is something I need to know. If it is a ground reality that I have a body, that every moment of my consciousness, I should know that I have a body. If there is a time called 2020, where there is coronavirus across the world, everywhere it is there, then I should know every time it is there. Why does that happen during the deep sleep state, that I have no idea of any existences? In fact, those people who get admitted in hospital and they have pain, bad pain in the shoulder, shoulder blocked, they're crying out of pain. Generally, you will find the doctors, they'll give them medicine so that they can sleep. And the moment they sleep, they stop crying. Even during the sleep, if the body has pain, they should keep crying. But actually, the moment you get into the deep sleep state, the moment the doctor gives you a sedative and you are into the deep sleep state, there is no pain, because at that time, there is no body consciousness. You don't know you exist. You don't know. So there is bodilessness, timelessness, worldlessness. When contemplated on this point, I wanted to explore. I wanted to know. And today, again, with the same desire and the same quest, I am sitting with you to understand the Master. Someone that we need to know. Someone that is me, but not known. So with that great intention, with all love, we will all be together for another 8 sessions, 7 more, total 8 sessions. And we'll try to understand how the Master can help us in leading a peaceful, happier, and a prosperous life. So I feel there is a need to know the mind. The more you know yourself, a better life you live. I strongly believe we need this training, because we will be able to be more comfortable with ourselves. I believe we need to control our mind. We need to handle it. We need to regulate it. But that will happen when we understand. I also thought of a fact that it is easy to catch habits, but very difficult to leave them. Somehow they are rooted somewhere. There is some place they are rooted very strongly, like the roots of a banyan tree. It's not easy. You can't shake it. That is why people cannot leave their habits easily. It takes a lot of time. Again, something is unknown, something mystic, something that we need to explore. So our journey is going to be from the known to unknown, and then that will be again known, right? So let's keep moving. So as I explained, these 3 states, I hope you'll start gathering a little bit of information. Slowly, the program, we'll keep adding more content. Today, we'll keep it a little light. Oh, thank you. So waking state is the state we are in right now. These are the 3 primary states of consciousness. So right now we are in the waking state. When you're in the waking state, your eyes are open. Generally, you are in this state. sitting or standing, right? You may lie down also, still be in waking state, but generally people are working, doing something, the mind is alert. So it's a state of mind which has body consciousness, time consciousness, world consciousness. You are aware, the five senses are very actively working, and all the five senses are continuously looking into the world, gathering information and filling it somewhere. Right now I'm using the word somewhere. Eyes are looking carefully and they're seeing, wow, a car is going, such a beautiful car, amazing, I want to buy this car. So this information you are gathering and filling into your somewhere, right, in the mind. Obviously we'll understand where will it go. So all the five senses, whether you hear, you see, you smell, you taste, or you touch, any of the five sensations are very strongly working when you are in the waking state, continuously working, continuously gathering informations, gathering informations. And where is the content, where is that information going? It is going somewhere into the mind, some department where we are just filling data, continuously filling data. So in the waking state, the five senses and the mind are in that state of body consciousness. I am aware of. We all know our genders. We all know where we are. We all know the country we are. We all know the family we belong to, everything. World consciousness, time consciousness, body consciousness. Why? Because our five senses are open outwardly. Our five senses are open outwardly. So I am continuously gathering information and filling the data somewhere in my mind. But when I lie down, generally, people can sleep when they're sitting also. It's absolutely comfortable to a lot of people. But generally, when you lie down, you close your eyes, and all the five senses are somehow to some extent withdrawn. Either by your own will, you go to sleep, or you take a sedative and go to sleep. You move inside. The consciousness drifts from the external world, from collecting data to analyzing data. You have already collected so much of information in 16 hours. See, out of 24 hours, 16 hours, you are continuously watching, hearing, speaking, touching, feel, a lot of things are going on. Data, continuously filling data. So from collecting data, when you close eyes and you lie down, you transform your mind to analyzing data. The mind has already so much of data, full of informations. Am I clearly audible? I'm just trying to recheck in mid.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So when you sleep, there are two options that you have. In the dream state and the deep sleep state. The deep sleep state is a state where you're absolutely in the state of consciousness. You exist as an energy. And that is the time when the mind is inward, only analyzing, sorting the files, sorting the data continuously. That is why when you have absolutely, it's like a tortoise who has taken its hands and legs inside. So when you are absolutely within, you are only working with the informations and the data that you have already collected earlier, or you have collected today. So the whole process is going on of analysis, sorting, all that is going on. And it is inside. That is why there is no body consciousness. You have at that time bodilessness, timelessness, worldlessness, because you are deep into yourself. Sometimes people go to sleep, they are in a deep sleep state, and somebody wakes them, get up, they say, I just went to sleep just now. I said, no, You've been sleeping for 14 hours. Huh? I don't even have an idea I've been sleeping for 14 hours. So deeply involved within self. And there is another thing that can happen when you sleep. That is the dream state, when mind knows I need to communicate. With whom? With the conscious mind. Now that deeper mind, which has unlimited data, wants to communicate to the reception. Now waking state is the state of gathering information. There is another state of collecting where analysis and everything is going. So dream state is a state of communication within self. That is why you create a character, you create counter character, you create a scene. Like when I started, I said there's a jungle, you are running, there is a python. It's all your creation. You are running, the python is following you, you're on the tree, the python is again following you. So ultimately, whatever is happening is your own creation, and that own creation is communicated from the deep master to this portion, the front office, or the waking state, or the conscious mind. Come here. And it is done through sound and visual. That is why you have two things. You can see and you can hear. Sometimes you would find people getting involved in the dreams by even speaking. So if you understand the three states, you will start understanding mind a little bit. What you know is also correct, but there is much, much more that we need to know. Okay, let's move on. So might be you have got a little idea of what I'll be talking about. And now let us understand mind. Okay, before we understand mind, let us do a small self-analysis, and there'll be certain questions, and I expect you to write the answers in your copy. You need not share with anybody. You need not share with anyone. You may just write the answer on your own, but it would be good if you can do that, right? So, okay. So please arrange a copy or a pencil so that you can write your answers. And this self-analysis will help you probably in the program slowly and gradually. So I hope everyone has a pen, pencil and a copy. Okay. Now my first question is, I hope I'm audible to everyone. You have a pen, pencil. Oh, that's good. Thank you so much, Rohan. I can see this. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Jyoti ji. Thank you, Pooja. My first question is, if you have, do you have negative thoughts of your own, or it is influenced by others? The third choice is free from negative thoughts. Do you have negative thoughts of your own? Own means generally they come from within. You have fears, you have insecurity, you have guilt. These are all your own, right? Nothing influenced. Or generally, remember, I'm talking about generally. People talk about something and you get influenced. Or third option is, to all those who say free from negative thoughts, to spiritual people, this is fairly possible. You might be absolutely free from negativity. But remember, life is a journey. It is a journey. It is never like this, you know. Suddenly you find this, oh God, the moment you claim and say, I am free, the next day you find something happening in your life and say, oh God, why did I say that? I shouldn't have claimed anything, right? So my question is, do you have negative thoughts of your own, or you generally get influenced by others? Influenced in the sense somebody comes and says, you don't look good, and you take it to heart. Yeah, she's right. So, is or third option, I said, no negative thoughts. Remember, I'm not going to ask it in public. We'll not share that. Maybe if I get a chance to talk to you personally, maybe then we can discuss, but not in public. So there'll be no discussions over any personal questions. So don't worry. You can enjoy your privacy. Okay. Now, second question is, do you generally get confused in taking decisions? Second question is, do you generally get confused in taking decisions? You have to write yes, no, or sometimes. Do you generally get confused in taking decisions? Yes, no, or sometimes. I hope that was an easy question to answer, because we generally know how our decision making capacity. Can we proceed with the third question? That's good. Third question is, if I give you a word, problem, how do you define it? If I give you a word, problem, how would you define it? You have to define it one sentence. Your sentence can be of 3 lines, that's okay. But one sentence, define it. I'm giving you one word, problem. You define it. Take your own time. Mishan ma'am has taken just 1 second in answering it. It seems you have written problem is nothing except an illusion. Okay. So should I proceed? Third question was, I give you one word, problem. How would you define it? Now question number 4. What are your strengths? And then you have to write your weaknesses. I would be happy if you refer to the mental ones. What are your strengths mentally? And what are your weaknesses mentally? I'm referring to the either the mental or emotional perspective, not the physical perspective. What are your strengths? You may write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, max 5 maximum. And what are your weaknesses? Pooja, you got what I am saying? Your strengths and your weaknesses. Yeah. Written. Okay. Can I proceed? That's good. Thank you. Next question is, now this will be valuable. Maybe in coming class, I may ask you this. What are your passion? Passion means something that when you do it, you really feel out of the world. Amazing feeling. You can maximum write 2 things. Don't make a list. Maximum write 2 things. When you do it, either there is a wow feeling or there is a feeling of being out of the world, but you generally love to do it. This would be of use to us because we'll be using it as one of the tools in the coming sessions. So you have to keep the self-analysis with yourself. Maybe in the forthcoming second or third session, we'll be using this tool as a switchover act. I'll tell you how we'll be using it. So you have to write your passion. It should be a task that you love doing, but when you do, you feel wow. You say, wow, it was fun. Maximum 2 things you have to write. Can we proceed? Have you written that? Okay, that's good. Okay. The 6th question is, what is the purpose oblique objective of your life? If you know, you can write. If you don't know, or you say, I don't think there should be an objective, then also. So since I will not be discussing publicly, it is absolutely okay. But generally, professionally, people have certain objectives, or emotionally, they have some objectives. Spiritually, sometimes they have objectives. So obviously, I said we won't be discussing, but they will be of use to us maybe in coming sessions. So this analysis will help us. And how fast you were in writing, that is also important for me. What is the objective or purpose of life? For example, your age is 36. Certainly you might be thinking, I'm just going to my work, coming back, doing obvious things. And then again, it's like a same schedule every day. I don't know why I'm born or what I've come for to this world. So sometimes people are able to find out the objective of their life. And if they're able to find out, then they start moving on it also. So if you know what is the purpose of your life, the objective of your life, please write it down. If you don't know, you say, I have no idea. Should I proceed? Done? Okay. Next question is, have you ever experienced the power of mind? Means something, you were in a weird situation and suddenly something happened and you were surprised how powerful mind you have. Have you ever had any experience where you have felt that you have a very powerful mind? Generally people, not everyone has such kind of an experience that you can say no. I've been using the master word, right? The master. And I'll be using this word for our mind, master. So if you have experienced that mystical power of the master, you may write in what context, whatever context you have shared it, you can write that. So have you ever experienced, ever in life, the power of the mind? Have you written that? Everybody is looking into the camera. Have you written it? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Maybe it will be of use if we discuss in the forthcoming sessions. So keep writing it. Okay. I'll proceed. Okay. Now, the next question is, there are 4 categories of people. You have to write which one are you. So the first category is, the world is not good. And I am also not fit for this world. The world is not good. I am also not fit for this world. Second, so both are bad here. Okay. Second, the world is not good. I am good. There are a lot of people whom you will find them saying ki, these are unfit people. They don't know how to manage life. I would have been there in their condition. I would have done something. So they think the world is bad, I am good. Another situation is, it is just the opposite situation where you say, the world is good, but I am not fit. I am not fit. The world is good. Everyone is good around, but I am not good, not good enough. And the last option is, the world is good, I am good. They know critic people are there, politics happen in their life, but they still see that optimistic, they have that optimistic part to see, and they say, no, the world is good, I'm good. So A, B, C, D. World is bad, I am bad. World is good, I am bad. I am good, world is bad. I am good, world is good. You find people of that category, A, B, C, D. Done? It was the simplest. A, B, C, D you had to write. Okay. Okay. This question is also little personal. You have to write what makes you feel happy. And in the next line, what makes you feel sad? What makes you feel happy? Just write one or two statements. Don't write a complete story. What makes you feel happy? Anything that makes you feel happy. Second, what makes you feel sad? Because this self-analysis is such a simple one, but when you look at this page, you start thinking about certain facts. You can analyze certain facts. We need only simple facts in life to proceed. No complicated data are required. What makes you feel happy? Write clearly. But please write everything confidently and clearly. If you're doubtful, don't write it. What makes you feel sad? If that thing happens, and then done? Okay, let's proceed then. Now I'll be sharing a small video with you, and we'll see how powerful is mind, and then I'll continue with the other states of mind and other things. Just hold on.
This week's video focuses on how to use your brain to create a life full of magic and amazing opportunities. Located in your brainstem is what is known as the reticular activating system, or RAS as I like to call it for short. RAS's role can be likened to a huge gatekeeper which screens out most of the incoming data from the environment you live in. The reason why it does this is that at any one time you are surrounded by 2 million bits of data, but your brain only has the ability to process 147 bits at any given time. Therefore, your brain only lets in or processes information which it deems as important and relevant. Everything else is screened out. Your brain focuses and puts its attention on things it sees as important and relevant to your survival and well-being. How does your brain decide what's important and relevant? The only way it can do this is to assess the external environment against what is contained in your long-term memory. This includes all your beliefs, experiences, and conditioning. This is its default system. So if you choose to believe that something isn't possible, then even if it does exist, you will not see it. You do, of course, have the power to override this RAS default system with the thinking part of your brain known as the frontal lobes. This is as simple as choosing to put your attention and focus on what you want. Basically, what you focus on, you find. Strangely enough, quantum physics tells us the same thing. Quantum physics tells us that at any point in time, all possibilities exist. And the moment we focus on one, the rest drop out of existence. Let me give you a couple of examples. A common one is finding car parking spaces. Have you ever heard or experienced yourself when you were convinced that you will find a car parking spot in a busy street, you do so? As this becomes a habit of your thinking and focus, you always seem to get a parking spot where others can't. Now, often people think that these parking spots just magically appear and that they have the Midas touch. However, the truth is that the reticular activating system is working in your favour. Because you are focused and believe that one is available, your brain kicks into action and your sight is activated to see opportunities for parking spaces. Let me give you a couple of other examples which will demonstrate the power of your brain to find and locate things. Some years ago, when I was working for a large international company, I had the opportunity to spend a few weeks overseas working on an assignment. During this assignment, I had volunteered to take notes on what needed to happen when we all returned to our respective countries. When I arrived back in Australia, I misplaced the notes. And as I was the only one who had a copy, I was in a bit of a panic. So I decided to apply the same concept I used to finding parking spaces and lost keys to finding these notes. Back then I just thought I had this ability to conjure up lost items. So within
Okay, let's continue. We have done a small exercise of self-analysis, and this is going to be of help to us in the forthcoming sessions when we'll be sharing certain tools with you. So we'll be asking you to refer to your self-analysis. Okay. Okay. See, the brain that we have is the hardware. It's a mass, it's matter, right? And the mind is the software. Something that functions, that works in totality. So it is that operating system. Like we have the hardware in computers, you can see, you can touch, and outsiders can feel. But the software is that internal operating system which basically handles the whole internal phenomena. So mind is that internal mechanism, that operating system, which is not just gathering information. What kind of information? You move out, you go to the market, you see a dress, beautiful dress. You see the color combinations, you see the shape, you look at the price, you see the brand. These are all informations that a mind is gathering. Remember, it is not only gathering, it is storing and managing. Because suppose you meet someone after 2 years, you can say, wow, yes, I remember 2 years back, I went to this particular place, and there I saw that kind of a dress was similar looking. It was at a 50% discount. You have that information, right? So you don't gather it. You store it and you manage it at the right time. You can use that information. See, you have a smart operating system. Using the massive processing resources of the brain, massive resources. There is no comparison of your brain or your mind in comparison to the computer operating system. We are so sharp. So let us look at the structure of the mind. The upper part of the iceberg is the conscious mind. Conscious mind is the state of consciousness where we are right now. I said, what is conscious mind? Body consciousness, time consciousness, space consciousness. I'm aware the mind and the space is having a relationship. What is this state? It is the conscious mind. But remember, it is that front portion which is connected to the five senses, which is only gathering information. Unlimited data. But where is it filling it? Where is the information going? That part is more important for us. Because we are not aware about the processing. We don't know where the information goes. When we need it, how do we retrieve it? We have no idea. How come we get an information? Suppose you went to some place 2 years back and then you think of, yes, I remember 2 years back. How come you have stored that and at the right time, within fraction of seconds, you retrieve the information? You have a sharp mind. That is what we say. The common terminology is a sharp mind. But actually, just imagine, just look at the processor you have. In the systems, the laptops we have, when we buy the system, we also ask, how fast is the processor? Just look at your processor, because your data is huge. A computer data is not that huge. Your data is extensive. Can you imagine, if you look at this image, you can see a conscious mind, which is just a iceberg, means something which is visible, something which is known, something that has been explored, something that you know about yourself. All that you know, all that you can say, all that you can define is only the part of your conscious mind, the waking state. But there is much more that has not been explored. Now, if you see under the conscious mind, there is, like the iceberg, very small portion of the iceberg is visible. The huge part of the iceberg is under the land. You know, it's not visible. So this portion is called the subconscious mind. The bag, it's just, I'm using a very layman language. You can say there is a bag inside where you are gathering information, but that bag is so huge. It is that bag of consciousness where you're continuously gathering, storing, analyzing informations and data. That bag is called subconscious mind. That master holds the secret of your life. Second thing, the upper part is the waking state. I am in the waking state, conscious state of mind. When I go to when I go to sleep, in the subconscious mind. The deep sleep state, we are generally in the subconscious mind. The mind transcends within. It goes inside. It goes within you. And it is now started processing the data you have gathered, not just today, in the 16 hours. Can you imagine how much of GB data you might have stored? And then continuously every day you are gathering informations without any filters. Now this would be a very smart point that we'll be discussing. Without any filters, you are just gathering information. And where are you feeding it? To your own self. Where is that self? Called subconscious mind. It's only when you sleep, you naturally transcend your mind. From waking to deep sleep, you transcend your mind from conscious to the subconscious. That is known to the mankind from more than 100 years, that in the waking state, I'm in the conscious state. In the deep sleep state, I'm in the subconscious state. Even the dream state is the state of subconscious. But a recent research also says that there is even a layer somewhere deeper in the subconscious, which is called unconscious. Now, this is the information that you hardly require. Maybe you were in the school and in the class 6th, something happened, not of any use to you. So that information will go down. The files will go down into the unconscious. So you have it in store. If you want, you work hard, you try. or remember, I'm using a very important word, you prioritize, it will come up. Your mind works on the basis of priorities. If you like a subject, you will remember maximum facts. Suppose you like history, you can tell about anything about any country. You can say history of last 500 years, 1000 years. If you don't like history, you will not have facts about it. So it's your priority in life. 2 points we are catching hold. One, I said you keep filling information without putting a filter. You are burdening yourself by too much of data without putting a filter. Number 1 point. Second point I said was, your mind works on the basis of priorities. Whatever be the priority will come up, even from the unconscious or the subconscious will come up to the conscious level. So it is your liking and the priority according to which the mind knows how to function, what to bring fast. Is that okay? Can we proceed? So we have conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the deep within the subconscious mind is the unconscious mind. So we are relating to the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Now we are relating to the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. And this is something which now everybody knows, but we will learn. Remember, the objective of Atmanthan is why we do all these training free of cost for everyone across the world for different people is that we find a lot of people are very knowledgeable. They have so much of information, so much of knowledge, but if they do not use it in their life, then it is of no use. Our objective, the objective of Atmanthan is to use that knowledge in our life and make it simple, easier, worthy living. A smile, to bring a smile on faces. That is one basic thing. The moment we start understanding and we start handling the mind, we get smarter. And we will, I have been seeing from last couple of years, people changing their life at the root level. And this is what we are looking ahead with this group also. Let's proceed. Although these percentages, you can't take them seriously. Don't even write them because it varies from person to person. It is just a broad guesswork. You can't actually calculate something which is extensive, But generally, if you want a guesswork, a broad guesswork, you can say the state of mind that you are in is less than 10%. Just imagine 90% of you is unknown to you. For example, I'm talking in reference to Jyoti. So whatever she says about herself is just 10%. 90% is unknown. If I'm talking about an XLR, then probably whatever she says about herself, 90% is still not known to her. When she'll goes to the subconscious mind, she explores, oh God, I had this virtue also, that virtue also, this thing also, that thing also. I don't know why I had no idea about myself. You start exploring yourself and then you realize that there was so much unknown, mystical, powerful things hidden within. Because what is known is hardly 10% of the total gross. And please, I would make a mark to it. The scholars operate at 3% only. So we don't even explore the 10%. It is less than 3% of the capacities. Generally, people operate at 1.5% of the total consciousness, the informations they have. Not even 3. The known people in the world have been operating at 3%. So this is my imagination. This is an image that belongs to us. We are also sharing a couple of images from internet just for the educational purposes, just to communicate with all of you. This is one of our creations because this is my imagination. We are imagining a person and this is certainly the brain. But I have shown an extension. We have shown an extension. This bag is indicating the storage. But remember, we have also shown an outlet. So there are mixed memories, mixed informations, mixed impressions, all kind of good, bad, neutral, all kind of. We have also shown a line as said conscious subconscious, unconscious. There are a lot of people who say subconscious, unconscious as subconscious only. So they say it's all subconscious, conscious and subconscious. They say only two divisions. So you will find a lot of people saying that also. But there are certain researchers saying no, the bottom part of the subconscious is that part which is even unknown to the subconscious. Fairly possible. Now, let us understand this human mind is a baggage of desires, thoughts, emotions, imaginations. So much is happening in a fraction of seconds also. The mind is always flickering and moving. We will now, today itself, from the first session, we'll start the process of observing the mind, analyzing the mind. We will not be a critic to it. We will not obstruct any natural movement because we will enjoy observing. Okay, let us see what is happening. In the yogic practices also, the word is used drishta. Drishta means just observing. First observe. Observe the patterns, how it moves. Start contemplating, start thinking. Slowly you will understand how the mind has been leading you or you've been leading the mind. So it is kind of a baggage which is full of impressions, informations, mixed. Like you can see red color, you can see blue, you can see green. So it's all kind of different feeling. Maybe with somebody you are really good, somebody you're not that good. It's obvious. We all are different in different relationships. So are the informations in us. So are the informations in us. So let us understand, right now we are all in the conscious state of mind. We are aware of we are in the waking state. So we are aware of the body consciousness, time consciousness, world consciousness. So you can say conscious mind is like the captain of a ship, the front, the reception, right? Which has 5 senses, and through the 5 senses it is collecting data. So you can say the conscious mind that you are in right now is like the captain of the ship, which gives orders, which communicates with whom? The external world. In the next session, we will understand we also have an inner world. So weird. You know, it's such a good news that somebody is 40, somebody is 20, somebody is 18, somebody is 60. There are a lot of people who don't even have an idea that I have an inner world. We only think that we have an external world. We only think we have an external world because we can see life through the sensory perceptions. In the next session, we'll proceed with that perspective as well. Slowly and gradually, I'm just holding your hand to make your concepts easy. And that's why I'm repeating certain things so that they get into the head, right? So please remember, in this state, we are communicating with the outside world by looking at things, observing, hearing, smelling, touching, even two-way communication. Suppose I am listening, I'm speaking. So communication. Somebody said, so it's also communication through expression. So communication is happening. So there is a two-way information flowing in and out, in and out. So this is the front office. This is the captain, the front area, which is basically working on gathering informations from the outer world to the inner world. Where is the information going? From the outer world to the conscious mind, from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. The master is the subconscious, which has 90% informations. And the inner world, it is connecting to the inner world, although it does not have the control. It's just the front office. The word front office is appropriate because everything goes back into the bag, gets dipped into the bag. All that is happening, speech or pictures or writings, all that gets into the bag. It becomes a mixture. But subconscious decides what to do. Your automatic reactions, your dreams, your habits, lots and lots of things are rooted into the master, the subconscious mind. They are rooted there. The conscious mind connects to the outer world through the sensory perceptions, through the body functions. So remember two things. You must write the things which are written in the bold. One thing, it gives you an ability to focus. Remember, conscious mind is the only state of mind where you can focus. I am sitting. I close my eyes. I can focus on my breath. I can focus here. I can focus on my the sensations on my skin. I can focus on anything. But important is focus. So the only state of mind where you can learn to focus is the conscious mind. So this conscious mind gives you the ability to focus. And another thing, conscious mind is very logical, so it has the ability to imagine. You can do all kind of kalpana. You can, imagine that you are in this country, you have your own aeroplane and you are flying and doing anything. You can imagine anything. There is no limit to that imagination. And another thing, it discriminates between the imagination and the reality. So there are three things the conscious mind does. One, it can focus. Focus as a point. In the yogic practices, we call it tratak, focusing at a point. Another thing is, it has the ability to imagine. And third is, it has that discriminative ability of discriminating between the reality and imagination. It can imagine, it can also discriminate. No, it's an imagination. So that's such a beautiful part of conscious mind, which we are in right now. And if we move ahead, the subconscious mind, who's the master, who holds the key of the life, who controls the thoughts and emotions, who controls our automatic reactions, who makes us angry, who makes us cry, who makes us feel sad. That root and the real me, that master in me, is that subconscious. That the lower portion of the iceberg, the bag in itself, where the whole processing will happen, the whole analysis will happen. So subconscious mind is in charge of the memories. Where are the memories getting filled? In the subconscious. Where the memories getting filled? In the subconscious. That's such a beautiful thought. I mean, your system is so smart. Like the computers, it stores information. The processor is processing. There are some temp files which you can clean also. Similarly happens with us as well. So your subconscious mind is in charge of the memories. All the memories you have from the day one you were born, all the places you have been, all the food you have tasted, the mother's food that smelled amazing, taste amazing. If you wish, remember I told you one word, whatever you prioritized will stay with you. What you don't prioritize, it will delete. This because you have a smart system. You do not have a computer which is made by a human being. You have a device which the operating system is working on, an automation system in context to the satellite, which is divine consciousness. You can download. We'll talk ahead, maybe in coming sessions. I'll relate it a little bit with computers because we are smarter than the computers. We have made the computers, obviously we are smarter. So the subconscious mind is in the continuous contact with the hidden and the deep resources of the unconscious. In that subconscious mind, the deeper level is the unconscious mind, and the subconscious is regular in contact. But it has so much of data, it gets tired processing. 8 hours is such a less time. He says, please go to sleep now. It is not only that the body needs relaxation, it is that the mind needs time. It does not need more data. It is sick and tired, joining hands and saying, please, can you go to sleep? In the 16 hours, you have collected, I don't know, 1000 GB data, or I don't know how much of information. I'll take 8 hours to process it. So one reason you go to sleep is body needs rest. Second reason is the mind will process the information collected. It will sort it. Because when you retrieve it, when you need it, it'll retrieve it. You've been to the medicine shop. They have thousands of medicines. They do sorting when they keep it. You name a medicine and they'll bring it within seconds. So obviously that processing, sorting and all that is a very important part. So the subconscious mind has that strong sense of awareness. Although your conscious mind is aware of the world, but still the subconscious is also, because right now we are in the waking state, I'm saying in a conscious state, yet my subconscious is always working. It is deep within me. So the subconscious mind is aware of its surrounding, constantly working, and it is processing that 2 million bits of data every second. It is processing that 2 million bits of data every second, filtering, prioritizing, delivering to the unconscious. So that complete process is going on. Continuously, the mind is working. So let us understand that your subconscious mind stores information. It is in charge of your habits. For example, the day one, when you started walking, it was difficult to walk when you were small, young, 1.5-year-old. You tried moving, but you fall down. But now, if you try to fall down, you cannot. Why? Just by practicing, it has got into you. Again, think when you started learning the bicycle, I would say it was very difficult to maintain the balance. You couldn't go 10 meters, 20 meters. You could fall this side or that side. But now if I ask you, you said, come on, how can someone fall down? Because please remember here, one more key point is practice. The way to connect to subconscious mind is repetitions. Repeating it again and again, repeating it again and again. I'm giving you certain master keys that will really help you in your practical life to make actually your life easy. Repeating it. From the next session, we'll be doing a promise to self. We'll be repeating certain sentences like I promise to myself to do meditation every day. When I'm saying such a sentence again and again gets into my mind. For even if I'm busy, I come back to my house and say, I just need 2 minutes. I just sit, close my eyes, and I feel so nice because my mind remembers because I've repeated it again and again. These are called affirmative statements. In Atmantan, not today because today we are short of time. Today we won't be able to do promise to self. In the next session, we'll be promising ourselves. Okay, I'll be doing this. I'll try to be happy most of the time. I am always happy most of the time. I'm always happy most of the time. When you keep repeating affirmative sentences, they get into you. It is like bicycle. First instant, very difficult. I kept doing it. I'm in a habit of doing it now. So you can be in a habit of being happy. Even if, although maybe fair possibility, the life is very stressful. People are around are not that nice. Some issues are there, a lot of financial problems are there, maybe you are physically unwell. Yet when you practice to be happy, you stay happy. Then you don't get a reason to be sad. It's again training the subconscious. Now we have to get in touch with the master. We have to get in touch with somebody who has that power to uplift the life to that level that we live a better life. Remember, the filters are there in the subconscious as well. So today I prominently think that we'll move ahead with conscious subconscious. In the next session we'll talk more about the subconscious mind. We'll talk about the unconscious mind. We'll talk about smartness and the hidden mystical powers of the mind, the stored potentials, of the mind that we'll discuss in the next session. Okay, so now we can have a question answer session, and then we'll do a meditation. So all of you have to stay. I'm very happy. We have people from Paris, we have people from Canada, and people from India. So 3 places, France. Okay, I would appreciate if those who are from please feel free to ask if you have any query. Although it's a first session, we have just started connecting to each other. I would call it an introduction session where let's like hi, hello today. And maybe with time, we'll be actually discussing more technical informations. But please feel free to ask if you have any queries one by one. I'll be happy to answer you. So I can see 2-3 people, their videos are on, others also. Anyone from Toronto who wants to ask a question, please feel free to ask. No queries?
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Sandeep.
Hi,
So,
Sandeep.
Thank you for organizing this. So, and I think it's, yeah, as you said, it is just the first session. We would know more as we go along. So I just have a quick kind of a suggestion maybe. So when you do that slide, you can start the slideshow. It's easier to see rather than just doing the slides one at a time. So if you do a slideshow, it would be full screen. It would be easier for us to view.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. Your suggestion is very valuable because if you do a slideshow, it goes at its own speed, and the speaker
No,
needs.
you can control manually.
That's also.
So, but I mean, that's okay. Like I just thought it would be easier, but no problem.
Every suggestion is valuable, and certainly if it is constructive, it is really more valuable because it is for everyone. Thank you so much. We'll do that next time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And are we going to do meditation in the forthcoming session?
No,
now?
today also.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Today also. In fact, we'll be doing it continuously in the whole program because we'll be meeting every week, and most probably I would request all of you to get connected. We wish to make a broadcast group so that individually we can send you certain guided meditations also, which you can listen. And there'll be at least every 3rd or 4th day, we'll be sending an audio where you can slowly proceed 1 step, then 2nd step, then 3rd step in meditation.
Okay.
And we'll be discussing the problems that you have in the classes. Meditation is going to, because mindfulness is something that will really help us to stabilize, to calm down the thoughts and emotions. So meditation is going to be an integral part of the program.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
I think your name is Sexton. We are meeting for the 2nd time, if I'm right. You please unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Hi.
did.
Yeah.
Hi.
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 Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it again. I could recognize your face.
Okay.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I did Vipassana some years ago.
Okay.
And I've had a few challenges with my brain and naturally the mind as well there. But it's growing much better. Thank you very much. I really enjoy the classes. I really.
Now we'll be in touch because we are, this program is of 8 sessions.
Great.
Okay. And on this particular group meetup, there'll be a lot of different sessions. All the sessions we do are all free of cost. After 3 sessions, there'll be a gap of 1 class, and that would be a session on yoga. So you all can attend. So I mean, so this time is almost fixed. Either it is mind training or another session, but you'll be for another 3 consecutive sessions, we'll be meeting. Then there'll be a gap of 1 session. There'll be a session of yoga, but we'll continue. So it's a commitment of 8 sessions for this program. Okay. Any other? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else who wish to ask a query or if there's any question as such? Okay. Anyone from Paris who wishes to ask a question? I'm open to answer if I'll be able to. Okay. Possibly no queries. Okay, anyone from Hyderabad or Delhi or Rishikesh from India? Anyone? Any queries? No query.
Sir, I had a
Yes,
doubt.
yes, Janvi.
Sir, if this study of mind training is this important, then why don't we include in our education system then?
That is what was expected from you. Uh, that means it should not be done at like a vocational program. It should be a part of the educational system. Yes, it should be.
Yes, sir.
And believe me, dear, now in fact, just last week I was sitting with my family and discussing that we should recommend government to have counselors, education counselors in every school, and a small mind training in every school. But at least we have started giving this free training in school. We have started. So Janvi, at least what we can do at our personal level, we are trying. But ultimately, it has to be done at the government level so that everybody knows and they can handle their mind well. So it is need of the hour, dear. It is need of the hour. At
Yes.
least in your school, you can go and talk to the mentors, and we are open to do online sessions.
So if it is taught at basic level, it would be more helpful when we grow.
Exactly. In fact, I feel kids from age of 13 and 14 should attend so that uh, they handle their life in a much positive manner. And because that's a time when they are moving towards the career, it's like the rise. So generally, a lot of people built up a stress and competition and pressures. So they would be able to handle their life in a much better way, more simpler way. And there are many researches now. It is something which has helped many people and going to help even thousands of more people. Okay, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Okay. Now,
Very good evening, sir.
good evening, ma'am.
Sir, I would like to ask something on the. You have very well mentioned the different states of mind. Three states, that is the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. My question is it the patients going in the coma state belong to that unconscious mind?
Right.
And when we
Right.
fell down, we become unconscious.
Yes.
We don't
Although
remember in
medically unconscious is a different reference. And when we talk about in this context, it's a different reference, but somehow they are related. They are related.
Acha, means patient going in the coma state
No,
is
it is that unconscious state only because you do not have a body consciousness. Even you have the eyes are open, but you can't see.
Hmm.
Actually, that's the state. Okay.
And more to know in the coming sessions about
Yes, we'll
unconscious.
be discussing, yes. In the next session, we'll be discussing more about the master. Now I'll call it a master because we need to be friendly with the master. And once we are in harmony and we are friendly with the master, it'll be even better. Okay.
Exactly.
Now let us understand we are proceeding. We are taking a first step toward meditation. I assume a lot of people might be very comfortably doing meditation, might be for years. But we'll be starting from the scratch today. I'm assuming that everybody is new, right? So we'll be slowly proceeding towards stages of meditation. Number one point that you need to remember, please try to find out a very cozy corner, a silent corner in your house, somewhere where the noises are less and there is less of distractions and disturbances. If you can face east, it's a good idea. Otherwise, please find a silent corner in your house where there are less distractions and less disturbances. Distraction count with the paintings, negativity, some emotional triggers like anything. You look at it and you may start crying, you may start thinking. So it should be a place where there are less distractions, less disturbances like now noise outside or whatever. So find out a cozy corner in your house. Ideally, the first preference is to sit in the ground with an asana under you, but if it is not possible, it's absolutely okay, 100% okay to take a comfortable chair, support your back, but sit straight. So even if you take a chair, it's absolutely okay. You can put a cloth under your feet and sit in a straight position. Although our journey is from body to the mind and beyond. So body is not the main focal area. We have to go beyond the body. Please remember, but body is the starting point. So certainly first thing is find out a perfect place where nobody disturbs you for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, because you have to first observe the natural phenomena, right? Second step, I said, sit very, very comfortably. You can just sit on a chair. You can keep your hands on the armrest. Or we do 2 to 3 things. This is called Dhyan Mudra, very, very famous. Everybody knows it. Or another is, and thumbs are touching. You sit like this. But the most important thing is you need to be relaxed. If your body is stiff, the back is stiff, you are uncomfortable, then it won't work, because you have to transcend your mind from conscious to subconscious. You have to transcend your mind from conscious to subconscious and beyond. So this is going to be a journey. This is going to be a journey of awareness. Now, how we will proceed? So you're going to sit comfortably. I told you about the place. I told you about the posture. Although when we sit, there are many yogic postures recommended. They're called Sukhasana, Padmasana. But if there is any problem, nowadays people have a lot of problems sitting on the ground. So you can take a comfortable chair where you can sit with your back erect and sit comfortably. Now, first step was place. Second step was the position. Third step is, when you sit down, at least take 5 to 10 deep breaths. Because if you're emotional, your heartbeat will be different. If you are upset, it will be different. So you need to first normalize, stabilize to start the process. Most probably tomorrow, if we have all of your numbers, we'll make a broadcast and we'll send you an audio recording where you can just play it and then you can move on with it, right? Today we'll be starting with the first step. So I would request all of you to be very comfortably seated and sit comfortably. Then take deep breath. Now, your next step will be to listen to this music. yourself loose. Give your 100% to the music and try to dip yourself into it. Focus. Focus. Complete focus. Let the mind dip into the music, completely absorb. Now slowly open your eyes. You can close the music now. Thank you so much, everyone, for sparing time, your valuable time. And next Sunday, we'll be meeting at the same time, sharp EDT 10 and IST 7:30. We'll be starting the program, this training, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Bye.